right, let's make a platformer today. We're just going to do a basic platform, nothing too crazy, something really simple, just so we can have some fun. We're going to explore gravity, we're going to explore jumping, moving left and right. We're going to be doing all kinds of things. So let's go and create a brand new project. I'm going to call this the platformer example. Okay. And first things first, get rid of the cat, create a new sprite by painting a sprite. I'm going to select a box. I'll make it yay size. And I want to make sure, like with all of my sprites, it's snapped to the center of the costume window. I'm going to rename this to player. And I am going to create another sprite from the paint editor. This time I'm going to change the color. Let's go with maybe green on this one, whatever shade that you want, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to make flat level, some sort of obstacle, and another obstacle, maybe a little bit higher. Again, what we want to do is we want to snap this to the center, and then we'll take it over on the stage and slide it down just like that. And I'll move my player down here as well. One thing I forgot to do, this gets defaulted to a sprite 1 or a sprite 2 name, and we're going to call this platform, just like that. Now it's time to do some coding. So the first thing we're going to do is select our player block. From the coding tab, we're going to code this, and we are first going to create a new block called run controls. So name this run controls and hit OK. It's asking us now to define what run controls is. So we want this game, we'll do the left and right arrows, but you can do the WASD arrows, 100% totally up to you. If, for run controls, we're going to do an if-then statement. So if we push our right key, so we want to move to the right, right and left are the x-axes. So if we push right, we want to change our x by 10. But we're going to change this 10 in a minute here because we eventually might want our character to change speed. So right now, we're going to create a variable, and we're going to call this run speed. So what's the speed going to be? We don't know yet. So click OK and drag over run speed. Be sure to click the checkbox off of run speed so we don't see it on the stage. Now what happens, so we're going to be changing x by run speed. So let's pick a run speed. So when we do green flag, let's set our run speed. That's a variable. Let's set our run speed to 5, just like so. And forever, we want to make sure our run controls are operating. So right now, if I hit the green flag, we're going to the right. You can see that. Okay? But we went right through this platform. Not good. So if we're touching the platform, so if we sense that we're touching the platform, then we want to change X. So that's under motion. We want to change X. We want to recognize that we've hit that side of the platform. So that'll be an operator. We want to change X. We want to hit our platform. We can identify that with a 0. And we want to stop our running. So 0 minus our run speed. So now, when I hit the green flag, I recognize that I've hit something. So I've come to a dead stop. If I push left, nothing's happening because we haven't programmed it yet. So control, if then, if we are pressing the left key, left arrow, then we want to change our run speed. So again, that's a motion. We want to change our run speed by the X value of 0 minus the run speed. So 0 minus the run speed. What we're telling the computer here is that we've gone to the right, we've hit the wall, nothing's going to happen. But if we go to the left, we'll move in the opposite direction until, so now we're going left, until we hit this part of the platform. So we're going to program that next. So if we're touching the platform on that side, so if we're sensing a platform, touching platform, we want to go in the opposite direction, which would be then to the right. So if we're going left and we hit something on the left, then we move to the right a little bit. So change X, not by 10, but by our variable that we created, which is our run speed. So let's check it out. Let's see what happens. Green flag, going to the right. Can't go through that because it's a platform. We go to the left, and we can't go through that one either. We've hit the platform on that side. Make sure you save your project, okay? Next thing, we have left and right. What about up and down? We want to be able to jump up and down. First thing we do is head over to variables. Let's make 2 new variables. Call the first one gravity. Call the second one fall speed, because what goes up must come down. And how fast is it going to come down? Well, we're going to determine that. Click the check boxes because we don't need to see what those values are. We have run controls. So now let's simulate gravity. We're going to create a new block. We're going to call this one gravity and hit OK. Now we have to define what gravity is. Well, gravity is going to be an X, Y. Let's zoom in here. It's going to be an X or a Y coordinate. It's going to be a Y coordinate. So from motion, we want to change Y by whatever our fall speed is going to be. Okay, well, what's our fall speed? Well, let's head over back to how our game starts, and let's set fall speed to 0. But since we're here, we're also going to set our gravity to -1 to bring us back down. 0, nothing happens. -1 is going to bring us back down. And then we've made that gravity block. So let's put gravity in there. Head back to defining gravity. Here's what we have so far. We're changing Y by fall speed. Well, we want to make sure that we stop when we touch the platform. If we don't, we want to continue to fall until we touch that platform. So we're going to use an if-else statement. That's a control. If then else. If we're touching the platforms, then we want to change our Y, so that's a motion, change Y by an operator of 0 minus whatever our fall speed is. So our variable and our fall speed. So what's going on here is our fall speed is set to 0. So if we're touching the platform, nothing should happen. We're just going to stay on the platform. That's what this one is telling us right now. Okay, so if touching the platforms, we're going to change Y by fall speed, and our fall speed, we're going to set it to 0. Otherwise, we're not touching the platform. Otherwise, we're up here. And if we're not touching the platform, we should be changing our fall speed. See how we popped up there? Because it's by 1, that's a positive. So we're moving the Y by a positive. We don't want that. We want gravity to pull us back down. And gravity right now we set to -1. So let's see what happens. You can see I fall back down. Not very smooth. Not very smooth fall, but it's still a fall nonetheless. You can see how it kind of slows down there. Save your project now. So we've got gravity. And we can move left, we can move right, but we're not doing any jumping yet. But we do have gravity. So we're going to next have our character jump. So we're going to make a new variable. Call this one takeoff speed. Takeoff speed, and hit OK. Over here, we're going to set our takeoff speed to 12. So set takeoff speed to 12. And uncheck this box. And let's make a new block, and we'll call it jump. Now, if you remember, you should see what's coming. We have to define what jump is. So I'm just going to move this over. I like to keep things nice and neat. So we're going to move that over. But first, let's throw in a jump down there. And now we can define it. I'm just going to define it down here. So this one's really easy. If I push up, so it's going to be a control. If I sense that I'm pushing the up arrow, that's sensing. So if I push the up arrow, then I'm going to set my fall speed to my takeoff speed. So I'm no longer going to be touching the platform. I want to jump. So set my fall speed to my newly created takeoff speed. Let's test it. Now I'm jumping. Okay? Now, what happens if I hit the up arrow before I land? What did I just do? I've created an infinite jump. Well, that's a glitch that we need to fix. So let's fix these bugs. First thing first, save it. We're now going to change this up. That's a simple platform run and jump, but we have this infinite jump. We don't necessarily want that. Maybe later in your game, you want to have maybe a power-up that allows that to happen, but we need to fix this, okay? So right now, this is working just fine. So except for that infinite jump. So we want to change that infinite jump. So right now we have if the up arrow is pressed, we want to then jump. We're going to take this out just for a minute. And what we're going to do is we're going to change, because jumping is a Y axis. So we're going to change Y by -1. That's going to have us fall back down. But if we're touching the platform, so if then touching the platform, so if we sense that we're touching the platform, then we're going to set fall speed to our takeoff speed. After that, from motion, we're going to change Y by 1. Now let's see what's happened. Okay, let me start it again. I'm moving right, I'm moving left, and I'm jumping. And if I keep pushing up, I don't have that infinite jump anymore. Click Save now. We also have a problem with our variable of, not our variable, sorry. We also have a problem with gravity. Okay, we need to kind of fix our gravity here. So as I play, you might see a glitch develop. And of course, because I'm doing a screen recording, that glitch is not happening right now. But in class, this glitch is definitely going to be happening. So we have to head over to gravity, and we need to make some changes here. We're going to leave change Y by fall speed. That's perfectly fine. We're going to then break this for now. And actually, you know what? Let's break this entirely. So we're going to fix gravity completely. There should have been a glitch. Trust me, there is a glitch when we do this. But we're going to create another variable, and we're going to call this one reverse step. This is so that we can get back onto our platform if we were to sync into it. In class, if you were to do this, you would see that we are syncing into our platform. This is how you fix that syncing. We're still changing Y by fall speed, and we're going to do an if, then, else. If, then, else. If we're touching the platforms, that's a sensing. So if we're touching the platforms, then we want to do another if, then, else statement. We want to recognize, okay, we're touching the platform. Did we fall into the platform and sink like quicksand? Or are we sitting nice and comfy on top of that platform? So we're going to fix that quicksandy thing that happened. We're going to do another if, then else code in here. So if the fall speed is less than 0, so that's an operator. If the fall speed, that's a variable, is less than 0, then we want to set that reverse step to a positive 1. So set reverse step to positive 1. That's going to get us out of that quicksand. If that's not happening, we want our reverse step then to be negative 1. It's kind of like gravity, bringing us back down to the platform. And we want this to repeat. That's a control. We want this to repeat until we are not touching the platform. So until we're not sensing the platform. If repeat till we're not sensing the platform, and then we want to change Y. That's a motion. Change Y by our reverse step. So we're coming back onto our platform. From here, we want to set our fall speed back to 0. Otherwise, what's happening is we are jumping around, we are moving around. So in that case, we'd have to change our fall speed. See how I flew up there? We want gravity then to take over. And let's see what happens. Okay. So I'm jumping. Okay. I'm not very smooth though. Now you can see we've got some issues then happening. So there's that quicksand thing that we were talking about that was supposed to be happening before. But another reason this is happening is because of how our screen is refreshing. So from the My Blocks, right click on Gravity, hit Edit, and then run without screen refresh and hit OK. Now, what we do is we have left and right working. We have jump, and we come back down, and we don't have that quicksand thing happening anymore. And that is a really, really, really quick way to make our platformer. So hit save now, give it a shot, pause as you need to go along. This is the most complicated project that we build in our Computer Science 9 program. And it can get a little bit more complicated, especially when we start adding enemies. But for now, we have a basic platform game.